What makes a good writer? What innate skill should one possess to have the ability to create worlds on paper out of mere thoughts and dreams? Statistics say over 130 million books have been published in history, and thousands more are printed every day. But with so many options, the question is, what makes any book stand out from the rest? The Missing Clock is currently the most celebrated work of Nigerian writer and journalist Adeyemi Adeleke, who writes under the pseudonym Mai Nasara. The Missing Clock is a children's book that dramatizes the importance of growing food and returning to the earth, the sustainer of human life. Mai Nasara uses the book to explore the consciousness, emotions and actions of a child in a fascinating narrative distinguished by the simplicity of its themes, ideas, language and style. When Banji, the only child of Mr. Lanre and Mrs. Lola Tobe, turned 4, he became fascinated with the rabbit-eared clock on the mantelpiece in the living room. He stared and stared at it, listening attentively as its hands went tick-tock, tick-tock, on and on, day after day. The first child and only son of 7 siblings, Mai Nasara studied at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. For someone who is now a celebrated author, some may ask, why did he choose to study geology in university?
I trained as a geologist, but I knew I wasn't going to do traditional geology work. I saw myself as a science communicator. I understand science, so I saw myself as having a mission to communicate what I know, how it affects people's lives, to get people to be scientifically literate, to know what the issues are. So my work is as a science communicator, like I've said. So I've had to dabble in journalism as well, write stories. I worked for a time as a copy editor at Timbuktu Media in Lagos, publishers of 334 Next magazine.
The first time that I read anything he wrote was a review. He had done a book review for one of the arts and culture features. I don't even remember the name of the book. I just remember the way he wrote, and I was struck by it. It was extremely sensitive. If he were speaking it, it had this lilting sort of tone to it. It completely wrapped me up. I wasn't necessarily interested in reading the book that he was reviewing, but I just wanted to read more of what he had. I think he is a phenomenal writer, and I sent him an email immediately I was done editing saying, I hope you're writing a book because you should be writing a book.
The Missing Clock started way back, 5 years in the making. The germ, the seed for it, I took with me from Katsina. It's true to life. The story of the Missing Clock happened to someone I grew up around, were church members. What happened to the family, it's also based, centered around the family. So there is a family in the Missing Clock with father, mother, and a child. It happened.
In 2011, The Missing Clock was among hundreds of books entered for the most prestigious literature prize on the continent, the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Later that year, in October, Mai Nasara was adjudged the winner and took home the $100,000 prize.
The selection and the process is so beautiful. First, you have a short list of 40. And of course, every good book or reasonably good book will fall into that. And then another short list of 20, another short list of 12, then 6, 3, and 1. So that kind of process allows good books to be in view all the time until you keep reading. And sometimes when you read a book 2-3 times, you have a better impression of it than when you read it first time. And I think for me, as a person, Mai Nasara's book was like that for me. It came all up on me. You know, I saw the beauty of this book as I read it more and more. That is what really made me happy about that book.
Someone called me, the final short list of 3. Ayodele Olofintuade, fantastic fellow, and Junior Rabi Obasi. So the former Ayodele called me. Congratulations, Mai Nasara, you won. I was shocked and, oh, excuse me, what did you just say? My friend, I said you won.
That very day, I remember I was driving to Ogun State. At a point, I parked my car and I called my kid. I said, "Leke, has it been announced?" He said, "Yes, we won." And I screamed. And mind you, he used the word we won. And that's Leke for you, because he believes that his celebration is the celebration of his friends and all that. He's that kind of a person.
With this win, Adeleke Adeyemi, also known as Mai Nasara, joins a long list of Nigerian writers who have won the coveted Nigeria Prize for Literature, a prize that has seized the imagination of dignitaries, heads of states, kings, and the general public. Since inception in 2004, the Nigeria Prize for Literature has continued to raise the bar for excellence in writing and inspire the younger generation to follow the footsteps of accomplished authors.
Literary awareness in Nigeria today is very high. Even children in the rural area have heard about the NLNG Prize. I remember when we went to Bonny, those children, they were so happy. Some of them were saying, the school children, that they hoped NLNG will still be awarding this prize when they grew up, that they will want to submit their works. Some of them are already developing interest in writing. So I think that the awareness is there. And it's going to be more because NLNG appears to be ready to promote the writers and promote literature.
For Mai Nasara, this win has only inspired him to work harder. He's not resting on his oars, and currently he is in the United States to learn more about his craft.
The missing clock, for me, represents what is the missing link in the families getting it right. I'm interested in the family, individuals in the family, no doubt, but working in concert as family. It's important that there's that harmony, and there's really so much that can happen when family members are in harmony, because everyone has something to bring to the table. Even a 4-year-old child, as happened in the missing clock. So I intend for Africa to adopt the book, and Africans in the diaspora, and of course people in other parts of the world and of other extractions, to take to the story and come to tell their own stories. And this way, I believe, we'll live out the aphorism, the saying that the stories people tell have a way of taking care of them. That's a quote from Barry Lopez, he's a Hispanic American. I believe so much in that the stories people tell do indeed take care of them. I've written a song along that line based on that saying.
For most writers, getting on a bestseller list and winning a prize like the Nigeria Prize for Literature is their biggest dream. Mai Nasara, however, does not fall in this category.
My biggest dream would be for every girl child on the continent of Africa to be educated, at least to first degree level. And in getting an education, to learn alongside the things that make for life, raising a family, whether your own children or children around you, because it is my conviction that every child is your child. It takes a village to raise a child. So where we have mothers or mother figures, they will raise any child as their own child. My dream is that this will be the reality on ground in Africa, so that, I mean, things that really should embarrass us, like, we should be embarrassed, but we're not. Infant mortality, maternal mortality, malaria, polio, polio, commonly known as. But because I'm convinced that educating the girl child is the way to go to grapple with these challenges, so it really is my dream. And I mean, of course, ensuring that children in every corner of the continent have access, ongoing access, continuous access, unbroken access to books, the best that the world has to offer. The books that have been adjudged the best in the world that are available to children, whether in China or Zambia or Afghanistan or Zimbabwe, all over the world, so that children can grow to be what I call fully human beings. To be human is to be down to earth. So that is my dream.